continues our special edition. I'm Pratibha Chandran, and the story that we are talking about today is extremely important because the question that has been raised is, viewers, can't a Muslim be a vice chancellor in India? Are Muslims forced to keep their head bowed in the country? If Muslims in India dare to speak up, are they targeted and jailed just for speaking up and being a Muslim? That's the absurd charge by Maulana Arshad Madni of the Jamiat Ulema-e-Hind. But if you want to dismiss him as a radical extremist, imagine this. Top Congress leaders seem to agree with his statement. So there is a terrorist attack in the country. 15 lives have been lost. The investigations have revealed a larger plot, that the plan was to carry out multiple bomb blasts in the heart of India. But according to the Congress and the ecosystem, investigations into Al-Falah are because the Vice Chancellor is a Muslim. So just to refresh your memory, Al-Falah is the university where the suicide bomber Dr. Umar was working. In fact, it is the same university, the same place where the suicide bombers even recorded the chilling video where Umar justified the suicide bombings. The same university where the terrorists are suspected of even making their explosives. But the agencies shouldn't dare investigate, according to the Congress and Co., because Madni and some others in the Congress actually feel that if there is an investigation into Al-Falah, then Muslims in the country feel threatened. I think we can say with absolute responsibility that no Indian feels targeted if there is a terror crackdown in the country. No Indian feels threatened if possible terror links are probed. But listen in to what the Congress party believes, and they say that what Madni has said is actually right.
देखिए, मदनी साहब ने जो कहा है बहुत सोच समझ करके बोला है और ये बड़ा दुर्भाग्य है कि एक बहुत बड़ी कम्युनिटी को दबाने का प्रयास किया जा रहा है.
What he's saying, to what extent it is absolutely correct. One senior BJP leader from Maharashtra has recently said, we will never allow any Muslim to be elected as mayor of Bombay. If you are giving such statements, definitely reaction will be what Arshad Saab is saying.
He is correct. And it is not happening only with the Muslims, but with Dalits and OBC also. They are being targeted. There is no doubt about it. Most incompetent people have been recruited as assistant professor, teacher, professor. And the entire academia is suffering now.
देखिए, एक चीज है, ये जो सरकार आई है, इसने बहुत ही प्लान तरीके से, बहुत ही नियोजित तरीके से एक धर्म के खिलाफ और धर्म से जुड़े हुए पढ़े लिखे लोग हों, इंटेलेक्चुअल हों, उनके खिलाफ एक कैंपेन चलाया. इसमें कोई दो राय नहीं.
Let's open this up and see if the country really agrees with it. Sanju Verma, BJP national spokesperson, joining us on the broadcast. Mr. Ratan Sharda on the broadcast with us. Advocate Nikhil Jain, political analyst, and Professor Atikur Rahman, political analyst. Mohammad Tariq Khan, SP national spokesperson, on the broadcast with us. Good evening and thank you for joining us. I want to begin with Nikhil Jain. Nikhil Jain, really, the Congress leaders coming out to say that there is some truth to what Maulana Madni has said, that Muslims in the country are scared. Should terror crackdown be seen through a communal lens? Many from the Congress party, and these are not any other leaders, senior leaders of the Congress party have come out and said, yes, that is the sentiment of the Muslim community.
See, the problem is that when the BJP acts against terror, they seem to be acting in a manner that is definitely inspired by the way they look by the way they look at the world. The fact that their leaders keep on targeting the Muslim community and not those four individuals who carried out the attack. The fact that the government of India has still not mentioned Pakistan, or at least for the longest of time, they did not mention Pakistan as the culprit behind this terror attack. For 2 days after the attack, they were not even willing to call it a terror attack. In fact, all sorts of theories were, spread in the media through different sources that this was an accident, that this was not even a terror attack. Now, when you have an approach like this, but on the other hand, you have a party in the which is in government at the center, which tries to communalize, which tries to inflame communal passions at the smallest terror attack, or the biggest terror attack. Let's not forget what happened in Pahalgam. That after those horrid individuals, those terrorists made widows out of our women, right? They killed people after asking them what their religion was. What did the BJP Chhattisgarh handle do? They put out a tweet saying, "Dharm pucha, jati nahi puchi." That is the approach with which the BJP moves. And the BJP is a party that has hundreds of members of parliament in the Lok Sabha, over 1,000, I think 1,400 MLAs. And how many members of parliament from the BJP are
Muslims have been targeted in the crackdown. Can you tell us how Muslims have been targeted in the crackdown in the Delhi blast? Because the claim that has been made by Madni is that Al-Falah has been targeted because the Vice Chancellor is a Muslim. He said that in India, you can't be a Muslim and a Vice Chancellor. Is he being targeted because he's a Muslim and a Vice Chancellor, who happens to be Muslim?
Let me answer that. Let me answer that. So I'm not going to go into whether the Vice Chancellor was part of the terror attack or not, but if he was, he should have been charged by the NIA, the National Investigative Agency, which is the one that looks into terror cases, and not the Enforcement Directorate, which looks into prevention of money laundering. If he wasn't, why has he been charged and arrested right after a terror attack? And how was all of this happening under the nose of the Home Minister and under the nose of this BJP government? Now charges are being made that this university was being used as the training ground for terrorists, for radicalizing Indian citizens to act against the Indian state. Now, what was the government doing before these blasts happened? After every terror attack that happens, the government comes with an action that, shouts from the rooftops that this is such bravado, machoism. They never answer on how the attack happened in the first place. How was there such a security lapse? How was some person able to load up so much explosives in a car and blast it near Red Fort? And what does the Prime Minister do? 3 days after that, he carries out a victory parade. The very next day, a blast happens in Srinagar.
Isn't that the
what was the Home Minister doing in the past 2 months?
Mr. Ratan Sharda, first on the point of what P. Chidambaram said, he went on to say that this is homegrown terror. Now Nikhil Jain says, why doesn't the government even dare to take Pakistan's name? But that aside, the Congress party seems to be agreeing that Muslims are being targeted, that Al-Falah as a university has been targeted because the Vice Chancellor is a Muslim. And the Congress party says, what's wrong in what Madni has said? It's true, they are being targeted.
I do not understand from which country Mukul Jain comes when these thoughts come to his mind. I'm very sorry to say this. He is denying his own Congress party's contribution, where top leaders of their party, top leaders in the army, in defense, came from Muslim community. They were vice chancellors, they were chief ministers, they were everywhere in all the top posts, president, vice president, head of the Air Force, everywhere. And they say that there is nothing done. They were the people who did not allow Abul Kalam a second chance because he was too communal for them, because uncomfortable it was. My basic question is, does being a minority give you license to abuse the country which is hosting you, which is giving the best possible citizenship right, which is giving you right to grow? And does it make a party secular only when you start backing even the worst kind of communal elements who are spreading hate? Are they denying that Al-Falah was the center of terror act? I would say any university, any place which nurtures terrorism must be destroyed, whether it's Al-Falah or anything else. And why are they questioning because they're Muslim? When they talk of Pahalgam, didn't they ask their religion when they killed people? They didn't ask us. What is wrong with that? Because for them, every kafir has the same weightage. Please understand, but they will deny this. And anybody who denies this should be ashamed that a government, the country where every Muslim, every minority is risen to the top, the second biggest majority starts playing victim card now, despite having 99.9% terror attacks in their community's name. They are talking of one mayor in New York forgetting hundreds of leaders that we produced. And they are questioning that. This entire game is so sick. It is so sick, I can't even say. Just for sake of some votes, you will go on debasing Hindus, a majority Hindu claiming they are fascists, don't allow Muslims to grow, while they are growing very well compared to any other country. They have got rights compared to any other country, where they don't go to jail because they come on TV and abuse Modi. And
there has been credible proof. There are videos that have been recorded in this very university. The suicide bomber was at this university. So how is the university being targeted? Professor Atikur Rahman, to say that the crackdown has religion. When the question comes in, terror has no religion, but the crackdown has religion. How is it that questions are being raised on why Al-Falah University is being targeted because the vice chancellor of the university is Muslim? This is the same university we're talking about where this entire terror plot had been hatched.
Pratibha, I abhor the narrative settings that Muslims are under attack. I am on record saying that the Muslims should own responsibility, put their heads to shame, and introspect as far as this bombing of the Red Fort is concerned. I want to draw your attention and your viewers' attention towards the BJP and the RSS against not only Muslims but the entire intelligentsia, right from Amartya Sen, Arundhati Roy, Father Easton Swami, even to S.N. Sai Baba. You know, Pratibha, 9 students of the Tata Institute of Social Sciences are being haunted by the Maharashtra police. Mumbai Mirror reported it yesterday, Pratibha. Why, you know? Because they organized a lecture in memory of S.N. Sai Baba. You know, every student community, every university which criticizes the present day RSS BJP government is under attack. I do not want to raise any Muslim issues, Pratibha. I abhor the idea of setting this narrative. I am against the BJP RSS. Why are you against education? The other day, Pratibha, you know, from the Attorney General side, the government pleader in Supreme Court said that all the intelligentsias are a threat and they are more dangerous than the terrorists. The intelligentsia, that means the
Sanju Verma wants to come in here, and Sanju Verma, I want to begin with what Madani said. He said that the government is determined not to let Muslims raise their heads after independence, and if Muslims can be mayor in New York or London, why can't they even be a vice chancellor in the country? And there are Congress leaders who have come out in his defense, going on to say that what he is saying is absolutely right.
Is that for me, Pratibha?
Yes.
There's a technical glitch. I hope I'm heard loud and audible.
Yes, we can hear you. We can hear you, Ms. Sanju Verma.
Okay. So, Pratibha, my first point is this. Look at post-independent India's history since 1947. From M. Hidayatullah to the likes of APJ Abdul Kalam, we've had various Muslims in positions of power. In fact, as Mr. Ratan Sharda said, APJ Abdul Kalam was denied a second term thanks to Sonia Gandhi. The second point I want to make is that Muslims are the second largest majority in India. There are about 18 to 20 crore Muslims in India. So please stop classifying them as minorities. The third point I want to make is Tariq Mansoor, the former vice chancellor of the Aligarh Muslim University. Do you know he's a vice president of the BJP? He's an MLC in the Uttar Pradesh Assembly, and that has happened thanks to Narendra Modi. Do you remember a lady called Najma Heptullah? She was the governor of Manipur. She was also made, the vice president of BJP. So this entire narrative that BJP demonizes Muslims is a whole lot of hogwash. My fourth point and my final point is this. 31% of Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana is allotted to minorities, especially Muslims. 33% of Pradhan Mantri Fasal Bima Yojana is allotted to minorities, especially Muslims. 36% of PM Ujjwala Yojana is allocated to minorities, especially Muslims. And Pratibha, 37% of Pradhan Mantri Mudra Yojana is allocated to minorities, especially Muslims. So when the Modi government, gives out welfare-related dole-outs to beneficiaries, it does not see कि ये Hindu है, Isai है, Christian है, Parsi है, Zoroastrian है, without caste, creed, religion being determinant. Everybody benefits from
opportunities, equal claim to the resources in the country. Why play the victim? Mohammad Tariq Khan, the numbers speak for themselves. And this is a terror crackdown. Why bringing religion into it?
Okay, I have listened everybody. Now, BJP have done so much for Muslim, means they are overwhelmed. Means they are so happy, इन्होंने इतना कुछ कर दिया है. Now no need to do anything more. आपने बहुत कुछ कर दिया. अब what they are saying, what they are saying, according to Mr. ये क्या इनका जो स्टेटमेंट दिया गया है, उसका सीधा सा मतलब ये है कि जो ये हमारे मौलाना साहब का जो स्टेटमेंट है, उसका सीधा सीधा आप क्या मतलब निकालते हैं? सीधा मतलब यही है कि वो जो कहना चाहते हैं उसको जस्टिफाई कैसे किया जाएगा. क्या आप बताइए कि प्रदीप कुरुलकर को अरेस्ट किया गया, डीआरडीओ के वो साइंटिस्ट थे 2023 में, तो क्या पूरे डीआरडीओ को ही कह दिया जाएगा कि डीआरडीओ गलत है? ऐसे ही अल फला यूनिवर्सिटी में 2000 बच्चे पढ़ते, 2000 सारे बच्चे. ये आपकी 2 दिन पहले की न्यूज है आप ही के चैनल की कि अल फला यूनिवर्सिटी टेररिज्म का एक लैब बन चुका है. टेररिज्म का लैब है, सारे 2000 बच्चे. गलती हुई होगी तो ऐसे
क्या सारे 2000 लोगों को अरेस्ट कर दिया गया है? मोहम्मद तारिक खान जी, आप जो कह रहे हैं कि पूरे यूनिवर्सिटी को टारगेट किया जा रहा है, तो क्या सारे स्टूडेंट्स को गिरफ्तार कर दिया गया है?
आपके चैनल ने कहा तो कि वो टेररिज्म का अड्डा है. आपके चैनल ने कहा पूरे 2000 बच्चे पढ़ते हैं मैम वहां पर. है जरूर प्रॉब्लम है. उनको आप अरेस्ट करिए, उनको हार्डेस्ट उनको पनिशमेंट दीजिए, कौन रोक रहा है? मगर पूरी यूनिवर्सिटी को कह देना, ऐसे तो डीआरडीओ को भी कहा जा सकता है कि वहां आतंकवादी पैदा हो रहे होंगे, कहा जा सकता है. गलत होगा कहना, नहीं कहना चाहिए. मगर आप ये नहीं कह पाएंगी कि अगर 2000 बच्चे कहीं से एजुकेशन ले रहे हैं तो उस पूरी यूनिवर्सिटी को ही कह देना कि वो लैब बन गया है. ये कतई गलत होगा. और अगर ये बात मदनी साहब कह दे तो वो गलत है. और यति नरसिम्हानंद अगर ये कहे कि हम मुसलमानों का कत्लेआम करने के लिए लोगों को बुला रहे हैं, मां अन्नपूर्णा कह रही है कि हम 2 साल में 20 लाख मुसलमानों को मारेंगे, खुलेआम कह रही हैं. इस पे we'll not discuss anything about that. We'll not say anything about it.
Okay, so you are saying that Al Falah University, where a video is recorded, where explosives are kept, and this is not the only link. There have been previous students as well who have been terrorists. This is under the radar of the agencies for a terror connect, but you're saying that it is being targeted only because there are Muslim students studying there. Sanju Verma, is it true? Is it being targeted?
Any organization shall not be targeted in this way.
Can I please come in?
Yes.
Thank you. Pratibha, I did not interject anyone. You know, my limited point is this. I always say, Pratibha, you need to have a sense of proportion. Umar Khalid, involved in the Shaheen Bagh Delhi riots, the entire ecosystem says, "Arey, इसको छोड़ देना चाहिए." CCTV footage, forensic evidence, more than 569 witnesses, more than 1200-page affidavit filed in the highest court of the country by the Delhi police. कहते नहीं उमर खालिद तो बेकसूर है. This is the same law which says, oh, साध्वी प्रज्ञा is a terrorist. साध्वी प्रज्ञा को बाकायदा कोर्ट ने बेइज्जत बिना किए इज्जत के साथ बरी किया है, पर आप उनकी बेइज्जती लगातार करते आ रहे हैं. कर्नल पुरोहित, he was without an FIR, locked in jail for 3,423 days. कर्नल पुरोहित को भी बकायदा इज्जत के साथ कोर्ट ने बरी किया. आप लोग आज भी कर्नल पुरोहित को टेररिस्ट बोलते हैं. My final point is this. This is not Sanju Verma saying it. The United Nations Human Rights Commission says 9 out of top 10 terror organizations in the world have a radical Islamist DNA. ISIS, Boko Haram, Jamaat ud-Dawa, Jaish-e-Mohammed, Hezbollah, Hamas. पर ये बैठकर कहेंगे नहीं जी लश्कर
should the rules be different because these are Muslim individuals? Nikhil Jain, I want to also bring in what the opposition has been saying. When the blast took place, questions were raised on the timing, saying that this is ahead of the elections. The question being, will such crackdowns be taking place looking at when the elections are taking place? Now you're saying that the targeting is happening because of the religion. Should there be different rules? Nikhil Jain.
Pakistan.
Yes.
Sorry, Pratibha, in 2024, a student was detained from IIT Guwahati. A student was detained from IIT Guwahati in 2024 for pledging allegiance to the ISIS. In 2018, a student was detained from the Amity University for again pledging allegiance to the ISIS. Now, these people were charged under terror sections. Now, what happened? Was the Vice Chancellor of Amity arrested? Was the Vice Chancellor of IIT Guwahati arrested? Was IIT Guwahati or Amity University called a hub of terrorism? That would have been very stupid to do if indeed that was done. And I again reiterate my point. I'm not saying that the Vice Chancellor who's been arrested of Al Falah University is nowhere, involved in the case, but that is not the government stand either. Had the government thought that that individual was involved in this terror attack, they would have charged him with the NIA. They would have charged him through the NIA.
I'll tell you why the Enforcement Directorate has come in as far as the Al Falah University is concerned. The charge is of money laundering, earning over 400 crores illegally.
ये सारा money laundering
okay, and defrauding students through false claims.
Pratibha, let's not...
Accreditation of the university itself is under question. So are you saying just because he is a Muslim, the Vice Chancellor is a Muslim, so he should be let off even if there are charges against the university?
No, not at all. No, whether he's a Muslim... Listen. First of all, Pratibha, stop interjecting. Secondly, whether he's a Hindu or a Muslim, if he's laundering money, put him in jail. If he's involved in terror, put him in jail, execute him. I don't care. My problem is that when the BJP ecosystem is trying to go after an entire community or after an entire institution or a university because some individuals from that university, based in that university, some students turned out to be terror accused. That is the problem with this all. And I'll tell you where the larger problem lies. When APJ Abdul Kalam's argument is made that Sonia Gandhi did not let her be the president again. What about Pranab Mukherjee? He was not given a term renewal by the Modi government. Should I say that the Modi government is against people from Bengal? Ramnath Kovind wasn't given a second term. Should I say that the BJP or the Prime Minister Modi are against Dalits? I will not say that. Those are stupid arguments to make. So APJ Abdul Kalam was a fabulous individual. He was made the president. He served a term, and then another individual was made the president of the country. But I'll tell you where the approach and the problem in the ideology lies. Ratan Sharda, a very senior person from the RSS, on your show says, this is what these people do when you host them in your country. Now, this is where the problem is. For him, for the RSS, Muslims are guests. They are not part of the country. For me, every Muslim, every Hindu living in India is an Indian citizen. He's my brother or my sister. He's not a guest that I am hosting. But this is the mentality that the RSS works with. Secondly, BJP spokesperson Ms. Sanju Verma says, you'll go on debasing Hindus whenever a terror attack happens. Till this point in the debate, nobody has ever even talked about Hindus. We've only talked about the government. We've only talked about the terror accused. We've only talked about the security lapses on the part of the government. Where did the question of Hindus come into play? The question of Hindus comes into play because they want to make every terror attack a fight between the Hindus and the Muslims, which it is not.
Terror was not coined by anybody else. Saffron terror was coined by the Congress party. Mr. Ratan Sharda wants to come in. Mr. Ratan Sharda, the point that Nikhil Jain is making is the issue is not with the crackdown on terror, take action on anybody, any individual, irrespective of the religion. The issue is with the mindset of the BJP and the RSS that is trying to target a community because of this.
Issue is not with BJP. Issue is with the minority-minded, secular-minded, vote bank-minded people who come on the panel and try to debase Hindus. When I say debase Hindus, when the Maulana says that is देश के अंदर मुसलमान कुछ भी नहीं बन सकता, that is debasing the majority community. Period. You cannot question that. He is not some small fry. He is heading a very big seminary. He is a top leader of Islam. You need to have a guts like Atikur Rahman to say what he said was wrong, but you don't have the guts. Because you are praying with the minority, minority vote bank. He says, कुछ लोगों ने किया, भैया कुछ लोगों ने किया. Entire network, entire battalion of terrorists have come from medical fraternity, right from Gujarat to Delhi to other places. You are saying it's a rare case. Are you comparing that with some strange incident somewhere else? When he said, पहले याद क्या नहीं आती? क्या गवर्नमेंट हर घर में जाके जासूसी करेगी? जब कोई बात बाहर निकलेगी तो उसकी इंक्वायरी होगी तो बात बाहर आएगी ना. So this kind of nitpicking, when you don't have any argument, that is the pain that I have. And when you say find the evidence, there is going to be time. पाकिस्तान का नाम बिना एविडेंस के दे देंगे. जहाँ एविडेंस था वहां डायरेक्ट एक्शन लिया. एविडेंस मिलेगा तो एक्शन लेंगे. That is not the question. You will not question that since 2014 in the mainland area, except troubled areas of northeast and Kashmir, there was no terror attack. One terror attack happens, you forget all about hundreds of sleepers have destroyed, hundreds of terror attacks stopped. This entire thing blew up because the government was able to crack the Faridabad center of terror. In Al Falah is not just some people. It is the storage of bombs, storage of material, which led to this entire terror exercise. Don't try to soft pedal. Don't try to whitewash. Don't try to cover up for these people. Don't play overground workers for these terrorist people. That is what our people meant when they say, when the lawyer said that these are the people who are supporting terror. These intelligentsia which tries to soft pedal, try to argue here and justify terror. Justified, well-planned terror network, and then come here and say, "Oh, inko victimize kar diya."
Justifying that you're able to see a Zohran Mamdani in New York, but are forgetting the countless Muslims here in the country. The simple point being that if terror has no religion, then how can crackdown have religion? And that's the question. Unfortunately, we'll have to leave it at that. Thanking our guests for joining us this evening and slipping into a very quick break here. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.